after you've done the hard thing, you're still not done. What do I mean by that? So I'm going to tell a little bit about myself. I do online marketing for a living, and I just started my own business recently, and on my new website I've published 3 blog posts so far. I still have a few articles I had written for me that I can use, so I was wondering, should I publish all that at once or should I drip out the content over time? I was curious which way is better, so I Googled it. Drip blog posts versus all at once. The number 7 search result was this article from Smart Blogger, and it talked about this thing called the after published task list. Now that concept right there is everything. It's not even what's in that list, it's just the fact that there is one at all. See, that's what I didn't know what was missing, but has been missing in my life, in my business all along. See, I have no problems creating and publishing content. I've done that. It's just that what I've been missing is the follow-up afterwards. So reading this article made me realize it doesn't really matter how often I post content or what I write about or even the quality of the content. That's all surface level stuff. The questions most people ask are like, what should my topic be? And, how often should I post? Like, what should I use? What's the camera equipment that I should use to make it? Like all this stuff that's just the surface level. And it's all asking the wrong questions. I think what matters more is what you do after you publish. See, after you post a piece of content, you think you're done, but you're not. You have to do promotion of that content, which is the after published task list as mentioned in this article. You have to do that for that content to be effective. So things like, linking to the blog post on your Facebook page or your social media channels, or emailing your list talking about the blog post. So just doing those 2 things alone right there is going to exponentially increase the value of that content in a few ways. One, if you're like me and you just started a new business, your Facebook page is going to be pretty bare. So just by posting about that blog content that you just wrote, it's going to make your Facebook page look more legit. It's going to make your social media channels look more legit. It's going to make you look like a real business, okay? The second thing is it's going to force you to send out emails to your subscribers. So in my case, I already have a few subscribers to my email list, and I haven't really emailed them anything. And part of that is because that's not my strong suit. I know how to write emails, I know how to send emails, but I don't have the systems in place to actually do that consistently. So, by talking about the blog post that I just published, that forces me to send out an email so that I cultivate my list, so that I'm building trust with the content instead of just spamming sales related emails. And in general, what that is doing is it's squeezing the value out of the content that I just put time, money, and energy into. So right now, I definitely don't want to do any of these things. But I know that without a system, I have no way of going forward. I have to realize that I will never, ever, ever consistently publish content and therefore, gain traffic and make money from it without having a system in place. I have over 10 years of online marketing experience in not having a system to validate that. The system in this case is the quote-unquote after published task list. Not doing those tasks means I'm leaving money on the table. Meaning I initially had the intention to do this thing, publish the blog content, right? Then I half-assed it, and then I really just worked really hard to get absolutely nowhere. When in reality, all I had to do was just a little bit more, maybe spend a little extra time to figure out the process and document it, and then I could have reaped the rewards. So, that's kind of what I've been doing all my life, is what I realized. In every area. I mean, slamming my head against the wall, like putting in effort, like massive bone-crushing, hair-pulling effort. I have no fucking hair. It's because all the fucking times I've been bashing my head against the wall, and I've just been getting nothing from like all this effort that I've been putting in. So what I realized is I've done this for so long and so many times that it's become a habit pattern and now an expectation. It's like no matter how hard I try, I'm probably still gonna fail. I'm not good enough. And then, when I fulfill that prophecy, it's a victim's mentality that keeps me in that cycle of failure. It's the mindset of, what's the point of trying? I know I'm just going to put in all this effort and I'm not going to get anything out of it. That's just the way it works for me. But it's not that like, hey, I failed because I'm supposed to fail, because I'm a failure. The truth is I failed because I didn't do the extra steps that were required to cross the fucking goal line. It's that fucking simple. I just didn't do a few extra things. Like, that's the truth of it. What's making me blind to that is the mentality I hold deep in my subconscious. That victim's mentality is actually making me blind to the fact that the reason why I'm putting in a lot of effort and not getting results is all because of me half-assing things and not doing everything I'm supposed to do. It's not like there's a list of things that's like clearly spelled out. Like in business, in life, in anything, there's usually not like a clear list of things you have to do that's just like spelled out for you perfectly. Usually there's a lot of uncertainty and like a lot of things that you just have to figure out. So, because of that, I wasn't doing those things. And, I can say that it's because of ignorance. I can say I didn't know any better and it's like not my fault. And all that is kind of true. But what is my fault is the mentality that was keeping me ignorant. It's that victim's mentality that's like a fog that made it so that I couldn't see clearly. I could only see 5 feet in front of me. So it's like I was blind to all the things that I should have done. And, it's really the case that like I wanted success to be simple. We all want success to be simple. Like, do this one hard thing and you'll win. By not actually getting to the root of the problem, I will always stay in this vicious cycle of pounding my head against the wall and not getting anywhere. All right? So the root of the problem is I'm not doing 100% of the things I need to do. I'm only doing what I'm good at and what I want to do. Basically, I'm staying in my comfort zone. I'm putting in a lot of effort, but I'm not creating and putting in place systems that force me to do the extra things that will get me to 100%. This has actually been the case everywhere in my life. Looking back, I always had, the persistence and the willingness to show up. I always put in the hard fucking effort of like going to the gym and working out and training. When I was doing MMA, I would show up to kickboxing and jiu-jitsu classes 5 days out of the week. I was consistent. Nowadays, I do dance classes 5 days a week. I show up consistently. I do the most days in most classes out of anyone. But showing up for training consistently is my comfort zone. The problem is I would put in the effort to show up and work out hard, but then afterwards I wouldn't do any recovery. No stretching, no MFR, no massage, no ice baths, none of that. Basically, I would do the parts that I liked and that I was good at, and then all the other stuff, which is, really the last 20 to 30% of the race, I would completely neglect all of that. So, that's like, if you compare it to cars, you can't work your engine really hard, do no repairs and no maintenance, and expect that car to last, right? So, especially if you're doing a long ass road trip. So eventually that car is going to break down. And that was me. I would do that. And then I would say next time, I'll go even faster and even harder when that wasn't even the issue. So that's why I would never succeed like the top guys. Like, when I would see guys like crushing it, killing it, getting results, it's like, why isn't it that me? Well, the reason why was because I wasn't doing 100%. I wasn't doing everything I needed to do. A lot of times I would almost make it, but not. And sometimes like just barely missing the mark. So remember, getting close is not the same thing as getting there, right? It's not the same thing as actually making it. So, what I realize now is I have to change my mode of racing, like midway through the race. So getting started takes one mindset. It takes the mindset of like, just fucking do it. Just do it sloppy, break shit, make mistakes, just do, action, action, action. But finishing takes a whole nother mindset. You have to shift gears. You have to slow down. You have to deliberately and intentionally create a system which requires patience, thought, and planning. You have to then implement that system each and every time. You have to collect feedback. You have to review the feedback. You have to iterate. And you have to understand that what you did before, all that hard shit of just like action, 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 that's only 70% of the race. You're not there yet, but you're close. You're never going to cross the finish line unless you do the few extra steps. So yes, like, it makes sense. Like, you did the hard fucking thing and like it sucks that it wasn't good enough, right? You wish it was enough to get the result, but the truth is it's not. It's not good enough. It's not that easy, and don't let your takeaway from that be life isn't fair, because at the same time, it's not that hard either. If only you knew how fucking close you were, right? Just do a little bit more. Not more of the same thing you were doing before, but different, totally different. A lot of times do the exact opposite of what you were doing before, So like, instead of doing the hard shit, like the first 70% of the race and thinking that's all there is, and then like not getting the result and getting discouraged, just understand, A, you're not done with the race yet, okay? B, all that hard work you did, it wasn't in vain. Don't let it slip. Just build on it. And C, you're almost there. Just take a few more steps. Just a few more steps. Like, do the things nobody told you to do. Do the things nobody wants to fucking do. Do the things that you don't want to fucking do. Right? Just getting started was the hard part. And maybe, the hard part is now easy for you. So you have to switch gears. Slow the fuck down. Create the system. Implement the system. Write out a list of tasks. Practice each task. Always do the list, no matter what. And make sure that list is concrete and visible, like the fucking 10 Commandments etched in stone. You know, if it's slow at first, it's supposed to be. Patience, patience, patience will get you there. And pretty soon, before you know it, you'll be across the goal line. All right, that's it for me. Talking to a camera is not easy for me. But the reason why I'm doing it is because I want to express myself. And if you like what I'm saying, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. That'll tell me, hey, people are getting value out of this. And not only are they getting value, but they want to hear more. So if that's you and you want to hear more from me, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and I'll put out more videos like this. Alright, on that note, I'll see you next time.